What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Showdown Breakdown Monday Night Football Edition. Ravens, Chargers, Monday night action, running Harbaughs, and lots of them tonight. And with me to break it all down, of course, my man, Bobbywow. But before we get into the breakdown, we got to talk about the weekend that was. And of course, it is Victory Monday here at DFS Army. Yep. Not just for NFL, but we got to call out some of the big wins. Show me the money 13. First place, fourth place, same guy, same contest. Bobbywow, 57K winner. Show me the money 13. Congratulations. You get a swag bag. How about little boy crushing it. Schoonmaker. The big DFS Army Schoonmaker play. Man, I was sweating that one. I can't even tell you how much I was sweating Schoonmaker this weekend, Bobbywow. How about the Oaks, the Thokies, or Thokies 20? A little more Schoonmaker action right there as well. So a bunch of nice wins this weekend, DFS Army. And of course, I got to tell you guys, it is Black Friday week. We are back with the big promo. Sign up at DFS Army. New signups, you get 50% off. What is this? Why is this so big? What the who? Get 50% off VIP, promo code BF2024 for your first month of VIP. BF, Black Friday 2024 is the discount code. And of course, VIP includes all sports, all access, all optimizer, all projections, all Army goodness. So with that being said, Bobbywow, it's the showdown time. Monday Night Football. Chargers, Ravens. You know, a couple of teams that are, I feel like, on the rise right now. You got this Ravens team that has been great to pass against, and they score a lot. It could be really good, but also, you know, the Chargers have kind of been a really good defensive team as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. Big news from these teams. Do we know about the health of McConkey?
It sounds to me like McConkey's expected to play. I think that's what the last report was on him. So he should be good to go. I don't think it was a major shoulder issue. I think that's kind of always been the plan. You know, he's gotten a couple practices in, so he's good to go. And for the most part, all the guys that we're worried about rostering should be all set. Now, the one thing to mention injury-wise is the bad Ravens defense is very shorthanded. It looks like even Roquan Smith is going to be ruled out tonight. They're secondary. They're missing some guys. So a defense that struggled, potentially even more struggles ahead with some of those injuries.
I love these Chargers pass catchers and little Herbie in this game. It's really just stands out from a matchup perspective with Baltimore kind of coming in like 31st or 32nd already versus the pass pre-injury. So that helps.
Yes.
That absolutely helps. Let's take a look at how these teams want to win, right? So the Chargers came into the season, Steve Harbaugh. Which one is which? I don't even know. Jim, and what's it? John and Jim, right? So they want to run the football. That's what their goal was this season. But it seems like Herbert is getting his swag back. You know, last few weeks, I'm going to say last 3-4 weeks or so, Justin Herbert. Listen, do we forget that Justin Herbert was CJ Stroud before CJ Stroud was CJ Stroud in his rookie year? Like, it's kind of been a similar career arc for those two so far. But yeah, Herbert was considered a dynamic quarterback, at least certainly for the first couple of years. And this season, he kind of took a step back, the running game. But I think this is a passing forward kind of a game. So let's take a look at what's going on here at the running back situation for the Chargers this past week. Looks like the return of Gus Edwards got him some snaps, but not a whole lot of work. So Dobbins last week, 73% of the snaps, and Gus Edwards mixed in a little bit for that 16%, just the scraps. Got a couple rushes, didn't do a whole lot with it. Not much to see there. So it's still J.K. Dobbins backfield for the Chargers.
Yeah, let's not forget this is a revenge game, right? For both those guys. You know,
right.
J.K. Dobbins in particular. I don't buy too much into the narrative tonight, but I do think those guys certainly probably have a little bit of an extra edge, wanting to show out for the team that didn't want to keep them. So
I mean, that was the combo that Derrick Henry replaced this year. So
I think Dobbins will come in with a little chip on his shoulder. So he's one of the guys that we'll talk about later. I want to be a little overweight on, but
okay.
yeah,
I like it.
Backs.
I love it. The most prolific pass catcher so far for the Chargers has actually been Will Dissly, of all people. And he's been really good. I'm surprised at how low his snap share has been. It looks like they're working in Tucker Fisk and Stone Smart a little bit for the rest of the sort of tight end snaps whenever Hayden Hurst has been hurt, which he's probably hurt again. That dude's always hurt. Is he hurt again? He probably is.
I believe so.
That
yes.
dude's always hurt. So yeah, I mean, those are your turds, Tucker Fisk and Stone Smart. These guys can get backup tight ends score a touchdown. Did Gray get 2 touchdowns for the Chiefs yesterday?
He scored twice. Yeah, unbelievable.
Man. I think it was Irish Jeebs in the DFS Army chat who's like, dude, I don't know why you're playing Kelsey. Gray is their red zone, their end zone target now.
What a call, man!
And it came true. So yeah, that did come true. But a backup tight end can always score. So Stone Smart and Tucker Fisk. Looks like I'm trying to see who's gotten a target from these two. Looks like Fisk. Yeah. Wow, that was a positive call out, Irish Jeeves. I think was it you, Irish Jeeves, in the Discord who said play Gray instead of Kelsey? It was a good call.
I think Tucker Fisk was the guy with the catch. He was the one that was activated because Hurst was sent to injured reserve, I believe, recently. So Fisk was the guy that kind of took over as the TE3. He caught a pass.
So Tucker Fisk is our tight end turd more than Stone Smart. Okay. At wide receiver, we got a trio here of McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and Joshua Palmer. Those are the main 3. Look at the snap counts for the trio. They're pretty much always on the field. Working in a little Jalen Reagor and Darius Davis, I guess, but they actually weirdly got targeted. Like their last game was so turdly. All the turds were popping up. Was this a showdown? It was, right? Because I remember. I feel like I don't know. I don't remember. I can't remember anymore. I can't remember what day it is. Thanksgiving's coming up. So many more games. Last weekend, by the way, was amazing. It was like the best weekend of football I've ever seen. These games were crazy. I know it was rough for the Bears, but I also was encouraged.
Yeah, overall, it's a win for the Bears. Caleb looked how we wanted him to look, and I think maybe made some money at the Army. Caleb was 1% owned, and I got some screenshots from people.
I mean, a great call. I remember, the haters are going to say, you made that call a few times, but I don't care. That was an awesome call, and I played a ton of Caleb stacks, and it was great. Fuck the haters. So you got Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and Josh Palmer as your primary trio, with McConkey and Quentin Johnston really splitting the WR1 work. And I noticed that there is a difference between these two. If you watch these games, which we do, or hopefully, it's really very much Quentin Johnston getting the air yards and Ladd McConkey running the better routes. So when they want to go deep and throw a bomb, which is why I think you got to think of these two guys like, I don't know, it's like a Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba situation where it's Quentin Johnston for the deep bombs, and I think he's going to land some of them against this terrible secondary, and then Ladd McConkey for the possession route running. And I think just for comparison's sake, I think kind of like it functioned, back when Keenan Allen was around, right? Ladd McConkey's kind of filling that Keenan Allen role while Johnson is filling the Johnson role. So yeah, there you go. That's right. And the Mike Williams role.
Mike Williams, not Johnson Williams, yeah. Mike Williams.
And, yeah. No, it's a whole different coaching staff. So those roles should not still exist with this.
It is comparable.
Yeah, it is comparable, right? And then you got Josh Palmer who picks up the scraps. Not somebody I'm ever confident in to put up a big score, right? But he could always get a touchdown and break a showdown. So I really love overall the pass catchers from the Chargers tonight. You just have to. The matchup is too good. So we got to be on them. They're all going to be very viable captain. Maybe not Palmer, but I think the other two will be viable captain plays.
Yep.
And it just gave me the old refresh. Here we go. They'll be viable captain plays. And again, turds, Jalen Reagor. I mean, how many times has Jalen Reagor burned us on a showdown, like getting a catch? So, can't fully ignore that situation either.
Sure.
Hate it, but you can't ignore it.
Can't ignore it.
Gotta be aware. That's how you actually win showdowns, by playing too much Jalen Reagor. And then he gets that touchdown.
Yep.
It's also how you lose showdowns. All right. So shifting gears to Baltimore, Bobbywow. Really interesting. So last week, Derrick Henry, not as good, and not a big game for him. They kind of controlled him last week. And you saw Justice Hill playing quite a bit. Justice Hill got a 20% target share last week, which is, I'm just mentioning it because Justice Hill is one of those showdown players that you cannot ignore. I get it, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's priced up. It's actually going to be difficult for Derrick Henry to get there based on his price and the defense that he's facing, but he's still Derrick Henry and he's got 2 touchdown upside. But it's Justice Hill that, like, when he has one of his kind of games, last week, I don't know if he caught the ball and I cannot remember, but I literally watched Justice Hill run like a deep out pattern and get, a 50 air yard pass that he did. I don't think he caught it from Lamar Jackson, but I remember making note of, like, that's how you lose showdowns. I remember just thinking that was my thought. I was like, the shit like that is what causes you to lose the showdown, because this fucking guy, you expecting a backup running back, he's out there, 40 yards down the field, almost catching a bomb. I don't think he caught it, but like, I just remember on the game film that play, and I just made a mental note of it, and I was like, man, look at that. Yeah. So I don't know if it's Justice Hill game, but like, he's just not someone that should ever be ignored for these one game contests. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Irish Jeep says Haskins coming in. Hassan Haskins. Who the hell is Haskins? I don't even know who that is.
He's the RB3 on the Chargers.
Don't even know who that is. So
that's
Hassan
a bold
Haskins, claim. He is not coming in on.
That's a bold claim.
Yeah, that is not happening. Come on, Irish Chiefs. Now you're just being ridiculous. He wants that Noah Gray credit, another one. Just being ridiculous. Okay, so now the Ravens are a turdly filled team. So many players. So at tight end, you've got Mark Andrews, kind of the primary, 60% of the snaps last week. Isaiah Likely, pretty much the secondary, but more targets than Andrews last week. Fewer snaps, more targets. And then Charlie Kohler comes in just to mess you up when you think that having Andrews and Likely was enough. Which one was it? Andrews? Likely? It's a big tight end in there. Wait, is Charlie Kohler? Oh, shit. That's the reaction that you're going to do.
Yep.
I've literally had that exact reaction, Bobbywow, from Charlie Kohler getting a touchdown 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I know. I've been there
Andrews?
too.
Is it Andrew? Okay, all right. Likely, I got his. Wait. Who is it? Charlie Kohler. Who the fuck is that guy? I need Conor McGregor. Who the fuck is that guy? Can somebody direct me to that clip so I could play it? I need that. Okay, so at wide receiver, this is an important part of this, Bobby. Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman both getting 80% of the snaps. We thought that Bateman would reduce his workload with the sort of acquisition of Deontay Johnson for the Ravens. That has not happened yet. Deontay really hasn't gotten a target, even from what I've seen. 18% of the snaps last week. Nelson Aguilar, again, another showdown breaker, has actually been continuing to function as the primary WR3 here with a 40% snap count last week. This was only one target, but Reagor is Aguilar, kind of a Reagor and Aguilar kind of same shit, right? And they're like the same person.
Aguilar kind of reminds me more of the Marquez Valdez Scantling role in Kansas City where he'd be on the field for 40%. He'd run a couple deep bomb routes and drop one. That's kind of who Aguilar is to me.
Yeah, he will destroy you on a showdown if you don't play any, and that play happens. We have no method of predicting when he's going to catch that ball and make a big play.
Yeah.
Did you see the drop by Christian Watson this weekend? Did you see on the Packers game?
I didn't.
Such a difference-making drop. That was crazy. There's so many. This weekend was amazing. And so close. Like that's. But the reason I mention it is because it's those little things you don't notice them when you're looking at the stat lines. But like again, 50-yard pass dropped Christian Watson yesterday. Yeah. That's all the difference. He would have been the smash player at 5K. Catches that ball, hit him right in the fingertips.
No, I had a ton of them. Yep, that's brutal. I didn't.
Yeah, that was a rough one. So there we go. And of course. We just have to account a little bit for Aguilar. How do you feel about Deontay? Do we have to account for him at all?
Yes, I do think we have to account for him. And but to that degree, we don't have any idea, not even the faintest of idea, if he's going to be utilized more, if he just stinks now, if he's in the doghouse for some reason. He's gotten a couple targets each of the last 2 weeks, and they clearly brought him in. Harbaugh doesn't bring people in just because, they had a reason to bring in Deontay Johnson, and, maybe he just wasn't ready yet. It's hard to say, but yeah, his floor is a 0. At the end of the day, he's going to get you 0 potentially. You
know what I think the problem is? If I have to guess, there's a reason I put a tweet out the second that trade was happening. And I said, this was, of every team in the NFL, this was the worst possible landing spot for Deontay. If you care about his fantasy production, it ruined it. It's not because Deontay forgot how to be awesome. He's a very, very good player that does something that he has a superpower. He's an amazing route runner. The problem is Lamar Jackson's just not a timing quarterback. That's not his game. And so the role that Deontay does, where he gets open at a particular moment, that's great in a system, but it's not really Lamar's game as much. I think Lamar's game is much more, whip it out to somebody, strong arm and accurate, and maybe not timing is not necessarily his thing. Just a guess.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, if you're running one lineup, you're playing single entry, I wouldn't touch DJ. But if you're running 20 lineups or more, I do think you need to mix them in, especially at 3K. Again, the likelihood is he's going to get you a 0, but it just feels like at some point he is going to play a role for this team. And, I just want to be able to account for that if and when it does happen. So I would have some exposure.
Yeah. The chat is very much into Hassan Haskins. So
let's also keep in mind Gus Edwards, is coming back from injury too. And he got a couple goal line touches. I mean, Patrick Ricard gets goal line touches. So yes, I think account for Haskins if you'd like. I just think this should be the Dobbins and Edwards show as long as those two guys stay healthy.
I'm a third running back. It's a lot of running backs. Let's take a look at what the expected captain exposures are.
Haskins been priced, so
yeah. Hey, for $200, okay. I'm not going to argue against anybody who's that price. If they're the game at all, the leverage you get from a $200 player. Remember the Davis Allen week, and it didn't even win because they didn't need a $200 player on that slate. That Rams one, that was brutal. I still think about it. Lamar Jackson. So sorting the domination station by ownership right now.
I'm kind of confused though. People are saying he got 3 touches. He only had 2 carries.
I think over the last 3 weeks, they're giving you over multiple weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
And part of that, Gus Edwards wasn't even actually healthy yet. 7 carries for 7 yards and 1 touchdown.
Points there though. At $200 turd, you mix them in.
Could get a touchdown. If you wanted to know what the chances are, you can certainly look up the touchdown prop. And my guess is it's probably in the range of plus 600, plus 800. It's going to be pretty high. So with that being said, captain spot for today, Lamar Jackson, super obvious, right? You got Derrick Henry, also very obvious captain play. I would not play them together. Herbert could really work here. Herbert is a spread the football type of quarterback. There's enough players, I think, to make him worthwhile. And he could sneak one in to get there. Lad McConkey, Zay Flowers. So those are your main five. Your main five is Lamar, Herbert, McConkey, Henry, and Flowers. Everybody else is sub 5% or 5%, like Will Dissly. Is Dissly? Is that too soft? Can you play a tight end like Dissly?
I mean, you can.
Captain?
Yeah, you can. I don't know that I'm going there this week. You know, I'd prefer Quentin Johnson or Lad McConkey if I'm going to play one of those guys. But sure, you know, why not? He saves you enough salary at that point where it's viable.
I like the low ownership possibilities for some of these other guys. Like, I think Quentin Johnston can get there. I think Mark Andrews can get there. And when I say get there, I mean, hey, they're Mark Andrews super cheap. Like, you know, 20 fantasy points is well within the range of 20 DraftKings points is well within the range of outcomes for someone like Mark Andrews or even Isaiah Likely. And at their price, I'm certainly intrigued. We've seen Bateman get there this season already. Also very inexpensive. So how do you feel in terms of the slate? Do you feel like the lower cost group is interesting at all?
I mean, you kind of go both ways, right? If you're trying to jam Lamar into every lineup, you're probably going to find yourself in the lower range, you know, for some of these lineups at captain.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to jam Lamar in, you don't necessarily have to go that far. But like you said, I think Andrews, good call out. You know, he's a guy that he's going to have a couple games a season where he scores multiple touchdowns. I think he may have been the nuts, you know, in one of the showdowns a couple weeks ago. So you mentioned Isaiah Likely, him too. But, you know, I just depends on how much you're trying to get Lamar into the lineup at the end of the day.
I mean, I think people are going to, it's not just Lamar in the lineup. Most people are going to want to just use Lamar as the captain.
Yeah.
I think that's where you get into a little bit of trouble. Because, you know, I think Lamar and Derrick Henry, really, and Herbert, they are expensive captains. Game has to go a certain kind of way. Like Lamar has 30-point upside in a game like this. So, okay. So does Derrick
He's got
Henry.
30-point upside every week. That's the thing about Lamar. Yeah, I'm very shocked that their ownership is even that close, you know, considering their price is so close together.
Yeah, I would think that you'd want more. I guess the thought is it's matchup with Herbert. Herbert's just literally facing a great matchup for quarterbacks. You know, they have allowed, you know, he gets the vaunted 100 he gets the 100 rating. I want to pull it up here, but yeah, 30th. They're allowing the third most fantasy points per game to opposing quarterbacks. Baltimore is. So,
and look, you know, the reality is though, Justin Herbert scored 25 points exactly one time this season. And I don't even think that gets you there. You know, he scored it last week, 25.4 points. I don't think that gets it done at captain necessarily this week. So,
I mean, he gave you only 50. You know, yeah, he's averaging 27. That is a crazy good average. But yeah, Lamar shows you every once in a while that he doesn't get there. But man, this guy's really, really great this year. And it's hard not to play him a ton. Especially in a game that I think is going to be competitive where the Chargers are going to be scoring. I think that even Lamar and the Ravens might be throwing it from behind at some point in this one.
I would agree. I fully agree. I think the Chargers win this game outright. And I do think they do a very good job of making life really difficult for Lamar. I'll be underweight on Lamar in this game.
Yeah.
I don't know the Chargers are legit.
Yeah, but even if he's down, you get like a game like that Cincy game where he just goes bonkers late and still it still works. You could be right for being wrong. So yeah, I love Lamar, love all these guys, and it's great stuff. But I do think we're going to see a competitive game where it does make more sense for the Chargers to attack via the pass.
And keep in mind too, the Baltimore's on the road, so that certainly makes things more difficult as well.
I'm going up against Tucker in a season-long league. I need him to be bad, which means he'll crush. Justin Tucker, it means he'll crush. Yeah, I'm facing it in a critical season-long matchup.
He's been so bad, but you just can't fade Justin Tucker on a showdown.
No,
it's too hard.
Yeah, let's jump over to the cheat sheet here and take a look. Remember, guys, if you're enjoying the breakdown, if you have fun, you have laughs, you hate us, I don't care. Just hit subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the DFS Army YouTube channel. Can love us, hate us, laugh, cry, whatever you want to do. Tilt. Don't tilt in the chat, though. No one likes a tilter. No one likes a chat tilter. Keep that shit to yourself. All right. Where were we?
Cheat sheet.
Cheat sheet. So here we are, Monday. Yeah. So, I mean, DFS Up North put the cheat sheet together for us. He is currently playing hockey, coaching hockey in Minnesota somewhere in the north. So we're handling it. But, yeah, DFS Up North agrees. Lamar Jackson, really a 4-star play. Ooh, okay. Here's an interesting dichotomy. Prefers to play Lamar over Justin Herbert. Just a straight, I just like Lamar better. So why bother? I can get that. I get that. Add in some J.K. Dobbins, not going to be high owned. J.K. Dobbins, super low owned as a captain, Bobby. I know you like a low owned starting running back captain.
Yeah, I already mentioned I'm going to be overweight on Dobbins at both captain and the flex this week or today.
Nice. I hope that works. Again, that is what I have going against Justin Tucker in said league that I was referring to just earlier. J.K. Dobbins, I need a big game. Lad McConkey, I just think it works on FanDuel, on DraftKings very well. Quentin Johnston, great DraftKings play. And of course, Lad McConkey.
Yeah, I think Quentin Johnston's ownership is too low to me. I think he's another guy that you may want a couple more percentage points over the field on if you're playing, 150 lineups tonight.
Right down to do a celebrity boxing match. The only person who's probably more of a wimp than I am is probably my friend who set up Saber Sim. I don't think anybody wants to see that. We're actually friends. So no, I cannot do that. Different site. What about turds, Bobbywow? How are we making it work? As we scroll down our, player pool here, Justice Hill 3K, so it starts with always the kickers. Dicker, the kicker, one of my favorite kickers of all time, primarily because of the last name. What does it mean under the field, Lamar? Hold on. Just answer that. Field weight being our ownership projections. The way we like to look at these slates is, do we want to be more or less than what we predict the field will be on a particular player? So going overweight, love them. Going underweight, could still love them, but maybe they're very high owned, and we don't think that's a good leverage against field ownership. That kind of thing. Dicker the kicker. Yeah, you got Justin Tucker here. Tucker's been missing kicks lately. Who cares? You want to play him? Will Dissly, 6,400. Does that feel like too much?
No.
Fair price?
No, I think that's fair. Maybe a little bit higher than I would expect, but it's fair price.
Maybe it's just that Andrews and Likely are priced down because no one knows which one to play. It's more that, seeing them at 4,600. Yeah, that's a pretty normal price for a tight end. 6,400 is kind of, expected on a showdown. Any turds here that are even, we talked about Aguilar at 2,400. Okay. Gus Edwards could get a touchdown at 2,800. I'm going to say yes, he could.
Yeah, I think you definitely want to be, have some exposure to Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. Those will be the two guys that I'm really targeting down in this range as far as like getting some heavier exposures on. Both guys are involved. Edwards getting close to 10 touches. Justice Hill, you mentioned last week, he had 7 targets. If the Ravens are competitive or even a little bit behind, that's actually a benefit for Hill as well. So him in the passing game on DraftKings PPR, 3,200 is probably a little bit too cheap, and it opens things up so you can fit some of these guys like Lamar in your lineup. I
think Justice Hill's my favorite of them.
Yeah.
He's just in the game. You're watching these games and he's in there. You're always seeing Justin Hill back there. Like if Henry's not running away with it, Hill is just back there a lot. Or if they need to pass, it's just Hill in there. So yeah, I think that's going to be one of my turds of choice, so to speak, in this one, Bobby. The other guy is, of course, Nelson Aguilar. You just always have to have some of him.
Yeah, I agree. You want some Aguilar. Well, who's the guy left? Tylan Wallace. Tylan Wallace, I believe the last time the Ravens were on a showdown, caught one touchdown pass. Maybe he even ran a kickback. I can't remember.
I think it was a punt return. Something
But
happened with
he
him.
played he broke a big catch off for a touchdown for sure. So again, you probably want a little bit of exposure to several of these guys down in this range.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's about it. I don't really see much interest. Let's take a quick look at the I just want to take a quick look at the props for these guys to see if there's anything standing out, comparing projections to props here. And, here's a prop. Here's your props numbers. 16, Henry. Yeah.
Oh, you would have had 2. That's right.
Nothing really stands out. Yeah, you've got Derrick Henry prop for more than one touchdown. That's unusual. 1.03. J.K. Dobbins at 0.57 touchdown. So your touchdown odds right there. Gus Edwards, 0.22. So, real chance at a touchdown for Edwards. I think much more so than Hassan Haskins. It would just be Edwards who gets that one. But he also stinks.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
He kind of stinks now. At the wide receiver group, it's interesting. I'm surprised to see Ladd McConkey propping higher than all of the other ones. I'm just a little surprised at that. I feel like Quentin Johnston's got a great shot at one as well.
Yeah.
Tight end group. And then we'll jump over here. I just want to see Disley likely and Andrews slightly highest for a touchdown, but Disley just the workload. 4.5 targets, 43 yards. That's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I do kind of I favor Andrews a little bit in this matchup. I think when it gets competitive and things get close, Lamar tends to look his way a little bit more. So I do favor Lamar a little bit over likely, but again, want a mixture of both.
Yeah, and that's it. All right, let's jump over to DraftKings and see if we could take this information and put an acceptable lineup together. Just real quick, again, checking McConkey, shoulder expected to play. There we go. So I would like to start this one not with the most expensive player.
No?
If we can avoid Lamar at captain.
Let's just see let's do one with Lamar and one without.
All right, we'll try it with Lamar. So the minute you put Lamar in there, let's go. We're down to 6,700 already. So let's think about who are the must plays. I would say in a Lamar Jackson lineup, it's not a must to also play Derrick Henry.
You can, but not a must.
You can, can, but not a must. So I'm going to leave him off for this one. I do love these pass catchers. So why don't we throw Quentin? I feel like McConkey, the Q tag makes it feel like he's going to get hurt during the game and fuck us. But nonetheless, Lamar, McConkey, Dicker, Justice Hill. That's our start. Yep. 8150. 8150 low. We got a kicker, a Dicker kicker. We got the WR1 from the Chargers. You've got Lamar, and then I added in Justice Hill because I feel like in the kind of game where Lamar has to do a lot, that's where Justice Hill is in the game quite a bit. It's where Derrick Henry's not necessarily going bananas. 8,100 left. What are we doing from here? Disley? I feel like we could go Disley and a 10K stud.
You can go, let's see, not even Disley. I like Dobbins.
Dobbins. Oh, that takes us out of the Disley zone and puts us on Bateman, Palmer, or
there's
Tucker.
Quite the salary gap there. That's the problem with that play.
Yeah, it's always this little salary gap here that always is frustrating.
You like Herbert a lot, so throw Herbie in there.
I do like Herbert. So let's put Herbert in there.
Put someone like Bateman
or
in
Palmer
there as well. Bateman or Palmer, yeah.
Go Bateman, go Palmer here. Ooh, that could really work with Bateman because you got Lamar, Bateman, Justice Hill, Herbert, McConkey, kicker. That's not bad.
Not terrible.
Yeah. So paying up for Lamar, actually not that difficult to do. Partially because you don't really necessarily feel the need to also play Derrick Henry in that scenario. And if Lamar is smashing Herbert, it's probably going both ways. So I like that. I like that approach. I can go for it. I'm entering it. I'm in. Now, oops, already maxed it out. Can't enter it. Oops. All right. Now let's see what happens if we start a cheaper. Let's try a Quentin Johnston.
Sure.
Now, again, Quentin Johnston, I'm going to pair him with his quarterback, so we got to get Herbie in there. 7,100 left.
Everyone's going to want to play Lamar, so might as well put him in.
Might as well play Lamar. Okay, fine. I feel like one of Lamar or Derrick Henry or both every lineup, by the way. It's either got to be Lamar or Derrick Henry. I'm going to make that rule. Is that okay for me to make that rule?
One of those guys?
I'm just going to say no less than one of those two guys. Like that, it has to have. I'm not saying you can't have both, but I feel like I want Henry or Lamar in my lineup.
Yeah, probably. I don't want to make a rule just to make a rule, but I'll probably have one of them in most of my lineups.
Yeah. Not saying can't play both, just saying I would like to have at least one. So we're at 5,800. We've played some studs. We got to get to the regulars.
Probably
right?
go
Again,
Disley here and then maybe Tucker.
Disley. Oh, and Mark Andrews we forgot about also. All right, I'm going to go back to Dicker, though. Fuck Tucker, man. That dude sucks now. I can't root for him. He really will. I have a team I'm really rooting for.
Okay.
Like I'm rooting hard for this team. I made a mistake. There was a trade that was vetoed, and now I hate everyone in the league. It's a whole thing.
Well, you can't let that leak into your DFS here.
It tilted me. And then it tilted me, and I was so mad that a trade was rejected that I made a bad lineup decision. And that just created a spiral that now, had I not made the bad lineup decision, I wouldn't even be worried about it today. The whole, that's fantasy football. It's my favorite thing. Redraft.
There you go.
The agony of bad decisions. Yes, and you're correct. They absolutely did have that. Where were we? Okay, 6K left for this spot. So that doesn't really actually work. Again, that leaves you in no man's land, which we don't really want. Although, again, just go Palmer. I don't love Palmer, and I don't want to be back on Bateman here. So what if let's see something. Ooh, yeah. Here we go. Mark Andrews.
Still in no man's land.
Yeah, you can't play Disley in this version. That's why. You got to go, let's say Flowers, and then you can get Justice Hill. That could work. Are we interested in the defense at all?
They're always playable, but I don't know. Justin Herbert takes care of the football as good as anyone. He's got one pick this season, so I'm not. The Ravens are missing pieces. They've been pretty bad all season. I'm not really interested there. Chargers, they've got some playmakers. If Lamar gets crazy or they go down, the Ravens go down a bunch early, he could get a little bit turnover happy. So maybe the Chargers.
Yeah,
but I'd still probably rather play one of those backup running backs, whether it be Justice Hill or Gus Edwards, over the defense.
Makes sense. And I'm looking at it now. You can't have Quentin Johnston is there with Herbert, so that does work here, and Disley. So that's your double stack. So here we've got Lamar. Yeah, it would be like a Justice Hill. I know I use
You're
Justice
still in no
Hill.
man's land.
Yeah, and
you really got to spend. You got to go Turdley here if you want to go another stud.
I don't think you could play. I mean, you could play Hill, but the actual move here, yeah. Look at that.
Let's say you want to play. Take Hill out. Let's say you want to play.
Here you could just put Dicker.
Disley, take Disley out as well. Dicker and Disley, just to see the turd strategy here. Like, let's say you want to play Derrick Henry.
You're not getting there. 1,300.
Now you're playing Darius Davis, Jalen Reagor.
Probably Reagor. It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Pretty gross. But hey, that's the fun of it. So paying down a little bit really didn't allow us. It gave you one more stud, basically. So when we paid up, we were only able to get, two of those studs, Herbert, Jackson, and one other one, like a Herbert. But if you go ahead and Johnston or a cheaper player up there, we're able to get a third stud in there. But the rest of the lineup looks kind of the same. So we'll see how that comes together as we build a bunch of lineups. I do think that both quarterbacks are very much viable tonight.
I will say this just for what it's worth. For whatever reason tonight, I'm getting a significant number of builds where whenever the quarterback isn't in the lineup, I have both running backs from that team as part of the lineup. So like, if Lamar's not in my lineup, I have a good chunk of lineups with Henry and Justice Hill.
That's weird.
And same with the other side. If Herbert's not in there, I kind of like having, Gus Edwards along with J.K. Dobbins. So I just a thought.
My big overview is like, it's usually the turd that wins you the slate. It's not overplaying Lamar at captain when Lamar is the nuts captain. You could do that every time. But the way that you win these is when Justice Hill goes off and he's 5% owned and you have 20% exposure to it. That's how you win. Going massively over the field on a low owned spot is just how DFS works. So when you're making lineups, pick one and go over on it. All right, let's talk a little bit of FanDuel. Can't forget the duel. And FanDuel rewards quarterbacks. It rewards running backs and rewards touchdowns. So it seems to me very obvious Henry, Jackson, Herbert, Dobbins are your prime core group. Unfortunately, FanDuel has figured that out, and they did price them all appropriately. You can almost have to play these guys. Like, to me, you almost have to play. Again, I think you choose between Lamar or Derrick Henry, and I would choose Lamar. I think you could play Justin Herbert. I don't need Dobbins. I'd rather play Henry here. But again, I don't think you'd play the third one anyway. If you put Dobbins in there, 85 hundo. Let's see. Quentin Johnston, 10.5. Deontay, overpriced. Tucker, Dicker, okay, 85. And yeah, Bateman, likely.
You got some cheap guys too down there. You got, Isaiah Likely at 7,500, Will Dissly at 7K, Justice Hill at 7K.
There it is. You got to play Dissly. Now they write me letters because they miss me. Dissly. No idea where that's from. All right.
No, but no.
That's all right. Got to play some Dissly there. With Dissly in, look at that. You can do whatever you want. I love it. Play some Mark Andrews. Oh. How about that?
That's good.
I'm putting it in. Bam. That's a money lineup right there. 2 tight ends, touchdown scorers. Dobbins, Herbert, Jackson. I actually believe, though, that if we duplicate that, so with Dissly in, you can still play a kicker like Mr. Dicker down here, and I can actually go from Dobbins. Ooh, can I get to Henry? No. Can't do anything there, actually.
Yeah, but you could play, Justice Hill and then get to Henry.
You know what I could do here? I can dump Lamar, and then I'd have to dump. Oh, I thought I could get to him. So you could get there without Lamar. I don't think it's going to be a big Henry smash game, but you never know when that game comes. What do you think? Henry or Lamar in a bubble?
Yeah, I think Lamar is your safer bet. Henry's your, more of your GPP guy tonight. Everyone loves Lamar and rightfully so when he plays. Everyone, I think, vast majority of the field would choose Lamar over Henry.
These guys got it. Good stuff. I love the audience, man. I love the I love the chat. Anyway, now they're writing letters because they miss me. Will Dissly. I have rap lyrics that just go through my head 24 hours a day, by the way, and it usually is triggered by a name or anything that rhymes. I have one for Bo Nix. Like 2 dicks with no chicks. But I don't say it because it's inappropriate for the show. Well, anyway, so back to it. Yeah, that's about it, man. You've got a baseline projection for Derrick Henry at 16 versus 21. It's interesting to me that Lamar and Herbert are almost the same projection. So there's maybe some leverage to be had on Herbert outscoring Lamar. Like, you have to think about, how do you win the slate, right? Maybe Herbert outscores Lamar. Everybody plays Lamar.
You win the slate by by going underweight on Lamar. That's how you win the slate. That's probably your most likely path to victory.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it.
Yeah, this should be a fun one, though. A great cap to a spectacular weekend of football. Bobby, I feel like the Bears game was one of those great games. I just loved watching it.
It was great. It was awesome.
It was such a good game. And then the crazy Panthers having a good... Where did that come from? Against, what the hell was going on there? Washington losing.
Titans beating the Texans.
Titans win. Washington lose. That game, the Titans game was crazy at the end. Like, there was just so much bananas going on. I couldn't even follow it all. Like, what is happening here? So that's going to do it for this one.
Be safe.
Be safe if you're driving, everybody. And could Bryce be breaded?
No. Stop. No.
You know
Not
what?
yet.
What are chances Lamar isn't in the optimal on DraftKings? This is a great question. This is actually a good question. Like, let's put it like this. The chances are higher than what his ownership is. The inverse of his ownership, meaning the field will play Lamar at a greater ownership percentage than what is his chances of ending up in the optimal. So your leverage is usually going to be going underneath the field on any player. I don't care how good the spot is. I don't care how great the matchup is. I don't care if his name is Christian McCaffrey and he's going up against the worst rush defense in the league. It does not matter. If a guy's going to be 80 to 90% owned and you're playing in these, you'll make more money over the long term being less than that percentage of ownership or full fading it. It's just how DFS works. And if you train your brain to think that way, it's much easier to allow yourself not to feel terrible when you faded that guy, Lamar, and he goes off for 39 fantasy points, which he probably will the first time you do it, right? Or whatever that player is that's chalk. I promise you, when you fade him, and this is speaking to you, meaning every single person who's watching this, like when you fade it, they're probably going to go bonkers that one time. And then you're going to have to resist in your mind, allowing that to sink in and make you change your mind about the strategy. You have to keep doing it over and over and over. And the time that it works, you win the tournament and it makes up for all the times that you've lost. But it is pain and suffering, psychological anguish along the way that you just have to accept or move on. It's the psychology of betting, of wagering.
Yeah.
There's EV in fading chalk, but you're just going to have to suffer when it doesn't work. And if you can't handle it, don't play the giant tournament. There's also EV in just playing in like a 20-man or a 50-person contest and just playing the good play. So, not fading chalk in those is fine. So anyway, we talk about that later. Reminder, once again, DFS Army, it is Black Friday week. We are doing this the whole week. It's a 50% off DFS Army VIP. You get a full month for half price. That's $44.99. That's like buying a cup of coffee once a week. That's it. Spiced latte. How much is a spiced latte over at Starbucks? Talking $6, $7, $8.
Probably
3-4 of those. That pays for a whole DFS Army VIP subscription. Check it out. We want you in here. Black Friday promo ends on Cyber Monday. So it ends on Monday because it's Cyber Monday. A week from today. You got 1 week to check it out. You want to check out DFS Army. Jump in. BF 2024. Not to be confused with BFF 2024. That's me and Bobby. See, I threw that in there to cheer you up. All right. That's going to do it for this one. Good luck tonight, everybody. We'll see you later in the week. Oh, big news. It's not done yet. Big news. Wednesday, we're breaking down the Thanksgiving 3-game slate, a special episode of Tournament Tactics coming up on Wednesday. We're dropping the Showdown breakdown. It's going to be a special Tournament Tactics right here, 5 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. And then, of course, we'll be back on Friday for Tournament Tactics to break it all down. I think I'm going to do a first look video where I cover both. It's going to be something new for me. Yeah, I'm just going to cover both. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll go in after Thursday and just delete the first part of it, leave it out there.
You know what you should do?
What do you think?
You need a video, and whatever video you do, you bring your favorite Thanksgiving dish to eat on the video. Kind of like a little surprise.
Like an animal on camera.
Like an animal on camera. Or give us like your most shocking delight, Thanksgiving delight. Or ask everyone to bring a side. You have Thanksgiving on the stream.
I'm thinking about, and this is not even a joke, I have a turkey breast, and I want to smoke it. Okay. I want to make a smoked turkey. So I got to watch some videos on how to smoke up a turkey. I haven't done it. I only have the breast. I could have got, so, you know, I could have gotten a whole one, but I don't like the dark meat anyway, so I just got the breast. I'm thinking about smoking it up on the grill, but I've never smoked any kind of meats before.
Oh, that's all. That's the story. That's all we're at.
Well, that's just what's going on with me. I might be smoking up a turkey all day tomorrow.
Well, we need some smoking advice in the comments, please.
Yeah, like I don't know. I haven't done it before. No, deep fry, you'll burn your house down, Dave. Don't deep fry any kind of turkey. You'll burn the whole house down.
I'm very curious. I will say I'm very curious about deep fried turkey. That just sounds like it has to be unbelievably good.
I love a deep fried anything. That sounds spectacular. I'm just not trying to burn my house down. Like there's flames and oil coming out of that thing. People always mess up. They don't put the turkey in first. They just drop some oil in. They drop the turkey. The oil fucking explodes everywhere, and then you burn your house down. It's not worth it. Oh, a couple people saying air fry the turkey. A couple people saying air fry the turkey.
Air fry?
Really?
Come on, no, go with your gut. Go with the smoke. No, smoke the turkey.
I want the smoky taste. Like I enjoy a smoked turkey sandwich.
Yeah,
it's not for Thanksgiving. I'm going elsewhere for Thanksgiving.
You buy yourself a smoker.
I have a smoker, but it's a different kind of smoker.
Okay, I can't help you there.
All right, that's gonna do it, guys. We'll see you on the. Let's take down a tournament tonight. Let's see those DFS Army avatars up. You know, it's Victory Monday, but the week isn't through. I want to see more DFS Army takedowns at the top of the leaderboards this week. Like, subscribe, notify, smoke up a turkey. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for Tournament Tactics.